through the whole process of the Emirates Stadium and losing players to bring in to get into the position that we are now, if you know what I mean. Fact. And then not, like, oh, we'll hold out for 3 million. If the striker is, I don't know, so let's say it is Gyökeres, why are we penny pinching over £6 million and all that? Like, and I get the frustration of a lot of fans on that. I do. I actually was nodding my head and saying, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't be penny pinching now. Like, they should be going, right, getting. Listen, I know that you've got to get the right deals and everything like that. I get all of that, but we're not in a position like of other teams that have won trophies and are, like for instance, Liverpool can do that if they want. Manchester City can do that because if they've got to the Holy Grail. You know what I mean? We're close. You know what I mean? 2 seasons ago, we had the trophy in our stadium. And here we are a year later, penny pinching on players that we definitely need. If you want those players, go and get them and show that we as a club mean business, and also as a club to show the fans that you do want to win the league. You do want to win the league. And I don't know if we've done that over the last couple of transfer windows where you can turn around. No, I don't think we have. And say, like, I think we did in the one with Declan Rice and Havertz and Timber and all that, like, but this window has got to be nothing short of spectacular, mate.
Everything has to work. Like, in previous years, we would do things like if we need a striker in the left wing, and we might get either or and then leave the other one for a year. I personally don't think we've given ourselves any scope for that. We need to address all areas, whether I like the players or not. Kind of piggybanking off what you said, it's like we're flirting with getting over the line. Where you look at the striker, the left winger, the depth, a lot of things, even tactically with Mikel Arteta. We didn't learn any of this last season. We've known we've needed to do this. And that's my frustration, especially with kind of Berta coming in. I know he's not going to change anything in a matter of months. In fact, that's a good question for you. Are you disappointed currently because, Berta come in with a big reputation and we still seem like we're doing the same things at this moment in time?
A little bit. Listen, I think that for me, the priority is getting the striker. Like, I get the Zubimendi one. I get Norgard to that. I get the central defender for Valencia. I get Eze as well. You know what I mean? Like, but if you get the centre forward, and let's say it is Gyökeres, you get Gyökeres in, and then you get Eze in, along with what we've got at the moment, I think most Arsenal fans would be happy with that. I'm not saying we'd be content, but happy.
You'd have to say fair play. There's some good players there.
Yeah, and if they bring in another one towards the end of it, like, that's fantastic. But until they get that striker, I'm not interested in any other thing. You know what I mean? Like, people will say, we needed Zubimendi, we needed Norgard, we bring in Eze, I think would be fantastic for us. It's not going to win us the league. It's not going to give us the chance to win it. Now, we can sign Gyokeres. That's not guaranteed you're going to win the league, but I will feel more comfortable going into next season because we've been close in the last couple of years. People go to me, what you can have arguments about the manager and all that, like, can he get us over the line, blah, 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 blah. What he's done over the last 2 years is he's pushed us so close. What do we need to win the league? What is it? Do we need a new manager? All right, okay, we're not going to get a new manager. So, right, let's put that to bed. What do we need then that's going to get us over the line? Proper centre forward. I think everybody would say that.
Level raisers.
Forward, proper centre forward. So go and get it. Go and get it. And here we are, 1 week away, by the way, before they go on the tour. Like, they leave on the Saturday. I just think to yourself, like, those things should be done now. Like, I mean, we're not a club that needs to penny pinch and everything. I go, I'm not moaning about anything. I'm just
no, you're speaking factually. Go on, man.
Just gonna go out there and say, like, we've got to get Champions League football. Why have we got to get Champions League football? Because you don't get a trophy, right? It's to compete and get the signings in that are going to Right, okay, right. Let's go for that. Like, so we've had Champions League football now for 2 years, and in that Champions League window that we've been in, we've had 4 windows and spent in 1.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry, man.
Well, yeah. So come on. So this is the time now when you think, right, I don't really want to hear about, oh, we're saving 6 million here or 5 million here, and then I read things like we're going to put in 50 million pounds for a backup for Saka. I'm thinking, really? Well, I'd rather you put that 50 million pound and go on it. And the other thing I will say this: if the club wants Sesko, right, and that's Arteta and everybody, like, and they're going for Gyökeres because it's a cheaper deal, I find that scandalous.
Right? Why do you find it scandalous?
Because we shouldn't be going for the cheaper option. If that's what the club want, there's the money. Let's have it. Now, I'm not saying that is. Well, I don't know. We don't know that, but I'm just putting that out there. Like, I think Gyökeres is the one. Let me put that out right. But at the end of the day, why? Let's not get him. You don't want to get him on the cheap. If Real Madrid come for Saka, for instance, or even, dare I say it, Saliba, more realistic, and go, I'll tell you what, we give you 60 million for him.
I'm going to tell him to shove it.
Well, of course. Come back when you go. So you can't take the mickey out of these teams no more. You know what I mean? Sporting have got, they're not going to let a player like him go for 55 million pound. One they're going to be a little bit. No, they know they've got to do it. But what have Sporting got to do next? They've got to find another one of them from somewhere.
And they're going to get the price of that replacement's going to get bumped up as well. That's how the business works.
So I think that it's all things that they're doing, and it's just all I will say is this, you know what I mean, come the end of the window, I do think Arsenal get their business done, right? But for me, it's important that Zubimendi, that striker, and Eze, if it's Eze, those 3 players, those 3 big marquee players, are on the pre-season tour. So they get bedded in. So when we play the first few games, it's great. Getting Gyokeres 1 day before the season starts means that we have to go in with Havertz up front and no one else. We went the whole of January to May with no forward. So let's say, we go to the first game of the season, Gyokeres is not there. We don't know at this moment in time that if Havertz is going to be fit with the hamstring injury, anything.
Marino up top, if that's the case.
We're going to go into Marino up top again in the transfer window all summer. Come on, that is not right. The first thing that Arsenal should have done was get that signing done. That was the priority. It is the priority. Now, also we know, and other clubs know, that we need that. So they're going to try and pull our pants down a little bit. But I don't think that really Sporting are trying to do. I think that maybe with the Sesko one at 90 million probably. But, I think it's a good deal. Come on, he's not actually asking for mega wages as well. It's not like, oh, we can't afford this and that. Just get the deal done. I'm fed up. I don't know about how you guys and in the chat and yourself. I'm fed up with hearing advanced stages. You know what I mean?
Oh, Lee, yes, advanced stages. We're monitoring. It's like watching a Netflix movie or series. Like, it's always dragged out. And I think everyone can understand, transfers are delicate. It takes a lot of time, all of that. But then we quite frankly take the piss. It takes forever, really. So you're right on that.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's frustrating, and listen, there's a few of my mates that just switch off from it. Like a couple of my mates, and we in the group chats, and they just go, right, see you in August, and they just come out of it.
They got the right idea, to be fair.
Yeah, and I understand. fans go crazy and everybody goes crazy over the transfer window. It is unbelievable. Like,
The journalists as well.
Yeah. There's like people can't get enough of it. And listen, I don't care when I was a kid growing up and it come through on the newspapers that someone had signed and you see him with the shirt and all that. It's exciting. Everybody likes a signing. It does excite you. It makes you feel great and all that, like, and you different ways of doing it back to what it is now. And I get that football's changed and everything like that. But for me, I think that it does excite when a signing comes. I remember 2 years ago, I was out in America when Declan Rice come on, and I can't remember who he was playing now. Like I think we was playing All Stars American team, if I remember rightly. But he only come on for 10 minutes. I was like a little kid. You know what I mean?
Like a little kid in a sweet shop, excited.
Yeah. So it does. I get all of that exciting and everything like that. Just give us the bloody striker. And it'd be interesting, like, does he wear the number 10, number 14, or does he get the number 9 off of Jesus? I don't know what would happen there. If I'll be really honest, if he does come, I'd like to see him in the number 9. I don't know about you, but
100%.
I don't. I'd like to see Eze in the 14 if I'll be or the 10.
Or the 10, yeah, the 10's free as well.
10's free, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? But for me, like, if you're going to sign the proper centre forward, mark it with the proper 9 on it. I know, like, people will laugh at me, and again, that's old school, isn't it? Like, do you know, like, going off beat and all that, like, people go, "Oh, do you like the number 4? Would you like the number 14?" No, because when I was playing, that was a sub. You know what I mean? Like, so
Henry that made it special.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what. Let me tell you got number 12 or number 14, you'd be disappointing, like, give me a proper number, like,
I think you're right, man. And do you know what? I don't want to talk about it from like a marketing point of view, but the quicker they get, the club care about money, the quicker they get a number 9 in, and they were to give him the number 9, it sells a lot more shirts, it gasses fans, it gets, scrambling for tickets and things of that, which is annoying. I want to ask you something on the striker thing, yeah, because I more kind of thought what I'm about to say would be the case if we got Sesko. Do you think Gyökeres will be the number 1? Because there's still some fans who feel, regardless of whatever striker comes in, we're going to persist with Kai Havertz through the middle, at least initially in the season.
Listen, no, you don't buy the number 9. I think Kai Havertz will still get his fair share of games, like, I would like to think that that's a rotator instead of, like, a backup or whatever. There'd be games when Havertz will play and you can rest Gyökeres. I'm on the old tennis here, aren't I? There'd be times when you can do that. Like, I don't see that. Maybe.
I hope not.
Listen, I think it's an unbelievable conversation you can have. Where actually are you going to play Kai Havertz? Because let's get a couple of things right. You've got Kai, who's a good player, and we're not saying he's not, you know what I mean? Like, but is he the one that's going to take you to the title as a centre forward?
Not as a regular, no.
No, you know what I mean? But spent a lot of money on him. It's big wages. I don't know how you'd feel about that if you was the main man and your backup is on twice as much money as you as well. I don't know how that, like, if you was doing like, if me and you were doing a show together and, like, I don't know, Talk Sport come up to us and said, right, you're going to host it. You're going to do all of that sort of stuff. Like, we're giving you £100 an episode, right? We're going to get Leon, like, he's going to do, like, just come in there, just do his bit and then go off. We're giving him 200.
You're going to think, hang on, I'm doing the legwork here. Where's the equality?
Yeah. Would you accept that? I don't know so much. You know what I mean? So
That's a good point.
I feel that this one with Havertz is going to be interesting. Do they put him back into the 8 role?
That's what I see happening.
Yeah, I do, and maybe, like, for a little while I do, and seeing Zubimendi and Rice playing that holding role until Zubimendi gets up and running. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. But I don't think you spend £70 million on a striker and then put him on the bench. You know, and if you listen, if they do, I ain't gonna go mad about it because, like, you know, say if we do that at Man United and then with an hour to go or half hour to go, Gyokeres comes on and bangs in a couple of goals, everybody going
Happy as Larry.
Happy as Larry. So that may be that they do that on, you know, like for instance, you're 2-0 up, you can bring on Kai Havertz who can control the game more, I suppose. I don't know how this is going to work, you know what I mean? But you know what? I don't care. It's not my job to, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the manager is on enough money to work that out and be, and that's what he's got to do. I think that's been one of the faults for me about Arteta is that he likes to play with too small a squad, and that has cost us. It's cost us players in injuries, and it's cost us going to the back end of the season when it really matters. We're a little bit jaded. So we need to have all of these players going into that, like March, April, May, fresh as daisies and trying to get us through, like, you know. So, listen, I think all eyes on the manager, all eyes on the players, because at the end of it, like, if you do bring in Gyokeres and you bring in, say, Eze, you've got the tools all of a sudden. I think, you know, last season you can... I don't know if people would give... listen, I think there were a few fans that would give Mikel a pass because they'd turn around and say, look, he didn't have a striker, injuries, and still done what he done. You know what I mean? Imagine if he had the right tools. Well, this is it now. This is your tool. You're going to get the tools. And if you don't get the tools, that's on you as well, Mikel.
We've got to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's because you've allowed it to happen. You allowed it to happen in January, and if you've got anything about you, you ain't going to allow it in this transfer window. So
can't make the same mistake twice.
No, exactly that, like, you know. And I don't think it's fair on us fans to go through another season or another half of a season without a striker. I still look at it, and I don't care what anybody says. For me, and this is me speaking personally, I think it's a scandal what they've done in January. And I'm not...
I can't saying that.
But, you know, to go through 5 months of season without a recognised striker at a professional football club in the Champions League.
Not fair to the fans or the players.
Not fair on no one. And at the end of the day, give it a bloody good go to get to the semi-final. But, you know, if you'd have had a proper centre forward,